Imagine for just a second that you are wealthy. Now, what does that mean? Would you have enough money to comfortably pay all your bills, invest, go out on trips to far and distant lands, give money away, pursue your passions, drive fancy cars, live in your dream home? What does wealth really mean to you? Put it down in the comments, because the first thing to understand is everything is energy. So the atom, which is the smallest building block in our universe, is 99.99999% energy. And all energy can be measured by frequency, and all frequency carries information. So if you're made up of atoms like I am, then you are emitting a frequency right now. And that frequency is based on how you think and how you feel, or more accurately, how you are thinking and feeling at this very moment. So Dr. Joe Dispenza said that thoughts are electrical frequency and feelings are magnetic. And I kind of like to think about it in terms of fishing. My brother-in-law is a huge fisherman. So if he sends out his line, that would be the electrical signal, that would be your thought, and then the reeling in of the fish would be the magnetic signal, and that would be how you're feeling. And what you catch is based on how good your line is and how good your reel is. Now the next thing to understand is that everything vibrates. Even if we took a rock, which looks like the most stationary thing in the world, and we analyzed it with a powerful enough microscope, you would actually see that it's dancing like crazy. It is actually vibrating. So if everything vibrates, then there's this thing called resonance. I got a violin here. If I pluck an A on the violin, it's probably a little flat. I haven't tuned it in a while. So if there were some other instruments in the room that were tuned that badly, they would be vibrating at that very same frequency. That's resonance. So the thoughts and the feelings that you are sending out right now are resonating with people, experiences, circumstances, and coincidences that are in resonance with that. All right, so now park this for just a second, and we got to look at the nature of reality. Okay, now this is going to get a little bit into the weeds here, but I promise this is going to become clear. So the one way that we all grew up understanding the way the world works is what we call three-dimensional reality. 3D reality is just what we see, what we hear, what we smell, what we taste, and what we feel. Holy moly, I got them the first time. I always foul those up. Okay, and this is how we define reality by and large, right? We see what we see, and we use those other senses, and that's kind of the way the world is. But we know that we are only actually perceiving a very small percentage of what's actually out there. If you think about X-rays, radio waves, gamma waves, and all of these other non-visible spectrums of light, we cannot see these, but we know that they exist. And so that's where quantum physics comes in. Now, don't let that word scare you. Basically, all quantum physics is the study of energy and really unpredictability of nature. Okay, so if three-dimensional reality is based on sort of classical physics and creating predictable outcomes, you know, if I'm going from here to here and I'm going 60 miles an hour, it's going to take me 3 days or whatever. That would be basic Newtonian physics. Okay, quantum physics, the premise is that a particle can actually be in multiple places at the same time. And in fact, all potential outcomes exist in the present moment. Now here's what that means for you. There is actually a quantum possibility that you are wealthy right now. Now that may sound crazy, and if it doesn't make sense, don't worry, we're going to make this a lot clearer in future videos. But basically, quantum physics is defined by energy and vibration and frequency. So the fastest way for you to create enormous amounts of wealth and abundance is to change your frequency to match the frequency of wealth, to match that future you that exists in the present moment that is wealthy right now. Now that is a big chunk of a big apple, and I promise you in this series we're going to go into much more depth so that you really nail this, because I really want you to experience the wealth that you want. Now the next major topic we're going to tackle here, and we're going to devote an entire video to this, is your subconscious mind. So you may know that your subconscious mind is running the show 95% of your waking day. And that's why you can drive on the car, talk on the cell phone, turn on your signal, check your rear view mirror, and keep your heart beating and your breath going all at the same time. And that's become very helpful in some cases, but in a lot of cases, especially when it comes to money and the idea of wealth, we have subconscious beliefs, which means beliefs that we don't even know that we have, that were planted in before we were the age of 7. And if we know that a belief is nothing more than a thought that we keep thinking, and we have beliefs that say money's really hard to come by, it's really hard to get rich, money doesn't grow on trees, etc., and each one of those thoughts produces an emotion, which they do, then now we've got this subconscious energy that's being perpetuated that is attracting more lack or more lack of money into our lives. So we're going to look into the subconscious mind in this series, and I'm going to give you really practical tools of changing those beliefs so that you can match the energy of your future self, which has a bunch of money now. And the main tool we're going to use to do that is meditation. And I'm not here to say this is the one definition of meditation, but meditation as a tool of creating wealth is going to be very important because it's going to allow us to get into your deep subconscious mind and change those programs around by changing your brain waves and by being able to implant the thoughts and the emotions that are essential for you to create more wealth in your life. And we're going to go over that in this series. So if you can change your energy in meditation, which we're going to do together, and you can maintain that energy, you are now attracting wealth into your life. And you're not going to have to go out and drive sharp bargains, as Wallace Wattles would say. You're not going to have to make a million phone calls and pound on doors. The money is going to come to you, and it's going to come to you in a way that you couldn't have possibly predicted, but in a way that was absolutely perfect for you. So if you're up for that, put down in the comments, "I'm ready," and I'll send you the first video in just a little bit.